So how did it feel? We were winging it a little bit, but did we get there?
I think we both almost got there.
No.
We were definitely winging it.
Yeah.
And I think there were a lot more topics I wanted to explore. I think doing this exercise over the course of an hour would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like actually getting to look in this and figure out, where your strengths are and then where you can either grow or apply your strengths. I think would be helpful to do.
Yeah, I think this kind of, this is with the long-term tank, this could be a good exercise.
Yeah.
For the long-term tank, because if you're addressing really the gut punch stuff that's bothering me about what I'm doing, and especially we had the discussion about things that we feel aren't in our control, well, what skills or techniques can we bring to the table to, even if we can't change it? I think the example you gave was situations where at least you were better able to understand the complexity of the problem and maybe why it's being done that way, so you don't feel like whatever it is just
The existential angst.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really powerful. And you guys got there in 4 minutes. Which is impressive. How about you guys?
He's such a great coach.
How did it feel for you guys?
I think it was good. I think for me it was interesting to realize that there were names for certain things that I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Labels. I think sometimes it's helpful to be able to put a label on something. Oh, when I do that, I'm mapping, or when I do that, I'm practicing this inquiry. And it also helped me there are things I probably knew, but like be able to put into a bucket areas where I knew I could do better. And so it's maybe able to sort of focus your efforts on improving if it's not just like a broad, I need to do better at this, but like I can try to do better at this one.
Like really hone in and target it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like that. What do you think, Melissa?
I'd agree too that I like kind of like looking at the component parts. Like these inventories sometimes just label all the areas that are like kind of behind the scenes, and then you can say, okay, well, I think I could probably do a little bit better at, and so where, because usually your strengths you can try to make sure you continue to do them well, but I feel like it's valuable to highlight areas where like I really would be more well-rounded and better at these situations if I did a little bit more of this sort of a thing, or we talked about balancing the things that you're good at and the things that you need to work on a little bit more. So I think just breaking it down actually is really helpful, just because then maybe the next time you're in the situation, even if you haven't fully made an action plan, you see it, you can take a step back for a second and say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I need to be doing this a little bit more of this right now.
Right. And then it almost gives you the permission, to do that without feeling like you're not doing the other thing, A lot of times you do one, you're like, oh, I should be doing these other things, but it allows you to just say, no, I'm actually moving forward by doing this. Yeah.
So in practice, you would just complete this inventory with the coachee without giving them like the backdrop or having them read the...
Well, so Rhonda and Simi will email them the article. They'll give them the backdrop. Very few of them will actually read it. Yes.
But from a theoretical perspective, you can share
Absolutely.
The view behind the curtain.
Yes, and
Before
you totally can, and you share as much of it as it feels right. But if it feels like you're like kind of tripping over it, don't feel like you have to overshare, because you can see, there's a lot you can get out of it just by finding the names for things. Another thing you could do, which I hadn't thought about this until now, is so we made YouTube videos for all the coaching exercises that you'll be doing that Rhonda and Simi now have the links to, which then will show you like this is sense making, and then like a sense making interview, like a coaching conversation, and then a debrief of what that looks like. You could even think about sending that to them and saying like, here's an example of what we might do today or next week or whatever. And they might be more apt to watch a YouTube video than to read an article. So you could try that too. And I think, and again, you don't have to get to all of this. If you squeeze it into one, that really works too. So see how it feels. But I think it's a really great, if someone's like kind of chewing through like how how to process a workplace interaction, this is really useful to be like, all right, I have a great format for us to be able to think about this. And as you can see, you could just pull out the self-assessment and not actually do it and still get a lot out of it. So any questions about the whole curriculum, the arc of second year, the coach approach, anything like that?
So you think, like in thinking for us, maybe where we only met once, just it seems like it makes sense to just go ahead and, if we're going to meet 4 times, to follow this format.
Yeah.
I don't have to go back and try to get them to do the strengths inventory or anything.
No, I mean, there may be a time where you might find it useful, and if so, by all means. But otherwise, I'd forge ahead with this one. I think the Janice one will be a really nice, like, you know, getting you back on the same page, and will help them feel good about it.
I mean, my experience both as a resident and as, you know, working with residents, like second year is the year they kind of, if they're going to break, is when they break, like, emotionally, and they like. So do you think? I mean, it sounds like these have the potential to be really helpful. But have you kind of noticed that you've been able to build up your coachees throughout that year?
Well, what's interesting is we added, for that exact reason, that's why the gas tank one is added into second year. Like right before the winter really gets going. Yeah, that's why we added that in, to help think about how to, we're like, we need more, like less of the leadership. Not that that's not important, but we could still get a lot out of that and have room to add this other one in. So yeah, so I look forward to hearing if you guys have any like feedback or experiences you want to share. I'm always happy to hear them. But mostly thank you guys for the time and the energy that you're putting into this. And whether it's 1 meeting, 4 meetings, or something in between, it's still a different space for them that you're creating. And so you should be
Thank you for doing
very
this.
proud of yourselves.
This is really good.
That's one other.
Oh, yeah.
One more. I can ask you afterwards. Actually, I know if people have. I actually was just interested. We focused this all on like residents, but like from a, you touched on your new role as more of a faculty person. Like how applicable are these things, and you know, to faculty members, and like maintaining sort of wellness amongst faculty.
Very applicable. Yeah, so a lot of, not the whole center isn't focused on coaching, but a large amount of what we're doing is coaching leaders to be thinking about how to ask some of these questions and communicate in this way, and then coaching individuals through some of these conversations depending on what's going on in their life, like some of them, like the short-term tank, long-term tank concept, like how to help connect them with what matters to you.
And are people, if you looked at it from a faculty perspective, are senior faculty paired with junior faculty, or just faculty paired with each other, or is it like the leader is supposed to do this with everybody, or like?
So actually, all of the above. So we have this 5-pronged approach where basically, so we're teaching the leaders how to do this like in your annual career conference or whatever. You know, here's how to do it in a coaching way. Here's what to look for. Here's the questions to ask. And then we have 3 different faculty type coaching programs. One is going to be like certified coaches. Like I've gone through a process now to become a certified coach, and I'll have a few others who have, so that anyone at any time, like each year you have 3 sessions that any faculty member can have, and then after that you would have to like pay a small amount for it, which will be far less than what it actually costs in the real world. But it's certified coaches. And then we're gonna have a what we're calling PRN coaching, where say you just like need to talk to someone or like want to, you know, connect with somebody, process something. Maybe your boss or leader thinks that you need that. We have all these faculty coaches now from all the different, we have over 300 faculty coaches now at MGH who aren't certified, but have like gotten, you know, these novice coaches. And so some of them have chosen to be PRN coaches, where I can just dispatch them to somebody who just needs, 1, 2, no curriculum, just like here, I just need to talk through stuff, but perhaps not like in a certified coach kind of way. And then we're going to do coaching dyads. So you and I would be paired up. We'd go out to lunch a couple times a year. You get 30 minutes, I get 30 minutes, and then we coach each other. We did the like senior junior faculty thing, and what we found is that not everybody got the same out of it, but the people who really got the most out of it were the people who were both coaching and being coached. And so that's where we came up with the dyads, where like you'd all go through training, so you'd learn how to do it, but then like just like this, you know, you would do this with each other, over lunch or coffee or something. So that's like, and then the last layer, so those are the 4 prongs. The 5th prong is going to practices and doing this with practices and honestly just getting people talking to each other and thinking about some of this stuff and like seeing each other's perspective in a different way. And that's been really fun actually, because then it's like multidisciplinary and interprofessional, and that's been really fun.
Yeah, the VA, I mentioned this at M&M last week. I don't think you were there, but I signed up for a coach through the VA. And
Oh,
it's
cool.
free. And I get every 2 weeks.
That's
And they're
awesome.
not it's not a physician. She works for the Department of Defense. She's based out of Alaska, so we do it over the phone.
So cool.
But yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 sessions now, and it's been really helpful. So, and it's also cool to be coached, knowing a little bit of the background, like you said, where it's like a Jedi mind trick.
Right, right.
Even after about 3 sessions, I'm like, I know what you're gonna say next,
Yeah.
so let me just stop you, say it, and then I'll move on, process it myself. But I think it makes you a better coach too. I'll find out when I do it, but having the experience of being coached too,
Yeah.
could make you a much better coach.
That's really cool.
I like the diet. The diet model sounds really
Yeah.
good. So if
I
you
like
want
the
to,
sound of
we
that
just
too.
keep
Here's our test
Have a
market.
sense of what it's about, then you don't
Yeah.
come in and it's like, right.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like an equal playing field, and you're just gonna talk
Yeah.
to each other, but there is this framework that you're both aware of.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a lot better than doing that sort of boss. You
Yeah.
know, being able to be a colleague.
So yes, we'll see.
yeah, I think medicine is late to this one, right? Like
Big
most
time.
things, because psychology. My wife's a psychologist. They do supervision, so she'd get an hour a week every week.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I know, and we do 0.
0.
Whatever you could find, as you could find it, if somebody was willing to talk to you. But certainly not with any sort of method like this. That's great.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you guys. This has been really fun working with you guys today, and I look forward to seeing what you do with this. Lots of ideas.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.